Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. This time I saw Trap. This is a 2024 thriller film directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and it stars Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donahue, Salika Knight Shyamalan, Allison Pill, Haley Mills, and Haley Mills. In this film, a father and teen daughter attend a pop concert where they realize they're at the center of a dark and sinister event. So, what did I think of Trap? But yeah, first, spoilers from the get-go. It's an M. Night Shyamalan film, very twist heavy, so I'm gonna have to talk about the twist. But what did I think of Trap? Um, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's a high recommend. It without Josh Hartnett's performance here, it would be like a 7 probably. But I think Josh Hartnett does a fucking bang up job in this film. But yeah, let me get to the cast. Josh Hartnett plays Cooper, who again turns out to be a serial killer. I warned you about the spoilers. Turns out to be a serial killer named the Butcher. He's going to this concert with his daughter. Josh Hartnett, I'm glad to see a resurgence in popularity with him. I've always enjoyed him in films like Wicker Park. Uh, his little part in Sin City was nice. Pearl Harbor. Um, what else? Well, yeah, I do like him as an actor. Um, and again, I think he plays a pretty creepy killer. M. Night Shyamalan's whole thing about making people act weird, at least it works for this character because he's supposed to be unstable. Ariel Donahue plays Riley, his daughter. I thought she did a fine job. She didn't come off annoying, though I will say she looks a bit old to be. Her character's supposed to be 12, and she looks like 16 or 17. So I was a little bit thrown off by that. He says at one point that she's 12, so I was just thrown off by that. Salika Knight Shyamalan plays Lady Raven. She's the singer at this concert. Um, this is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter that he gave extended screen time for her songs, and I will talk about that. Her acting is not good. Her acting is the worst part of the film because whenever she is on screen talking, like her singing's fine. I don't mind the songs that she did. But whenever she's talking, whenever she's acting, whenever she's supposed to look scared, confused, whatever, anything other than singing, she's terrible. And it's kind of an After Earth situation where M. Night Shyamalan had Will Smith produce it, and he was like, "Okay, throw Jaden, my kid, in there," and then Jaden gave it one of the worst performances of most child actors' careers. Same with Will Smith, but then again, M. Night Shyamalan has an issue with directing people to act like people. Allison Pill plays Rachel. This is Cooper's wife. I'm usually a bit hit or miss with Allison Pill. She can be very annoying. She plays a lot of white supremacist characters, which gets fucking annoying for me. But I don't mind her here. I think she does a fine job. Um, Haley Mills plays Dr. Josephine Grant. She's a profiler that's brought in to try to understand our killer. Um, People might remember Haley Mills from the original Parent Trap. She was in Twisted Nerve, That Darn Cat, Pollyanna, Troll in Central Park, Appointment with Death. She's been in a lot of classic films. And I think she's fine here. I wish she was in a bit more of it because I do like when she's on screen. Um, but yeah, Trap. Um, I watched this film again, just randomly saw it on that it was on Netflix, wanted to check it out. I was very curious. I like Josh Hartnett as an actor, so I'm happy to say that his performance would be the reason to watch the film. Like him going in between this like nurturing because you do know you know from the dialogue and from how Josh Hartnett's character acts, he loves his daughter. Like he's apparently not been a bad dad. which I know I'm not saying I feel for the serial killer or anything like that, but he's not at least is he's at least not played to be like a cartoonish villain, which I'll at least give the film that. But one thing I didn't notice until I watched it was the rating. This film is rated PG-13. And I think this whole plot would have been done a lot better if it was allowed to be R. I know M. Night Shyamalan is like self-funding a lot of these apparently. Uh he did such good numbers on some of his films that he has the money to just do new films and he has actors that he works with constantly. So I guess it's whatever. I'm glad that he's like able to self-produce. That's cool. But I do wish this was rated R. Like you could lower the budget slightly and have it be R. Um I'm guessing a lot of the budget went to the effects of the background of the crowd at the arena because I'm pretty sure they didn't film in a real arena or they didn't have that many obviously that many extras. But for the most part, those effects look really good. Like it never really stood out to me as being like, like of lesser quality. Um, but yeah, again, most of this film, if you recontextualize certain things and just add a few details, this could basically be a Hitman movie, like the video game series. Like a movie where the killer is like trying to get out and also get the target without getting spotted. Like I think that could be a very intense film. Like again, you could even have bits where they get caught, which could spice things up. But yeah, that's kind of what kept me in this was even though there's a lot of coincidence, especially with how he's getting out and a lot of taking chances that would most likely get him slapped in the fucking face or again arrested. I still was with this film for quite a for all of the runtime because of Josh Hartnett. Because I do think Josh Hartnett is what sells this film. Like he's on the poster, he is what sells the film, and I think his acting. Even with Salika, I think he's still very engaging to watch, and I think he does a great job. Um, but I do want to talk about the things I didn't like. Again, Salika and I, uh, like this film, it is basically a concert film at many points, and it does make certain parts feel artificially extended. You can have this like as a framing device of like, oh, they're at a concert, so we got a real musician. But the way this is done, where there are at least 3 or 4 songs that we hear in full in the crowd, and it feels like filler. And I'm not huge on it. I know other people have probably commented on it, but yeah, it's very vanity project. It's very, hey dad, put me in a movie as this famous singer that has people losing their fucking minds over. Um, but yeah, and again, her acting. The film drags a little bit in the middle once you leave the stadium. I think the film kind of slows down a bit too much, and I kind of wish that the entire movie was him trying to escape and getting thwarted at multiple points. But yeah, a lot of the stadium stuff is taken up by the music, which again, even though I said I wasn't huge on having there be that much of the music just blatantly being played because again, she's his daughter, I still felt quite a bit more tension in the beginning, like 45-ish minutes. The last 20 minutes of the film I do still think are pretty great. but again, that middle is a little bit uneven in terms of what characters do. Like, there's a bit where she swipes his phone so that he can't kill somebody he has captive, and he just starts freaking the fuck out, which I think he gave himself away a little too quickly, but still hearing him screaming at his family and everything, I thought again Josh Hartnett did a great job and was genuinely very off-putting. Um uh but yeah, the musical score from Erdis Stefan's daughter I thought worked pretty good outside of the Selika songs. Um some great bits of tension. I think there's a good chemistry between uh what's his fucking name? I am so bad with names. Between Cooper and Riley, his daughter, I think there's a good bond between them. I believe them as a father and daughter. Um, but yeah, I do think this kind of structure could make for a decent Hitman movie or maybe a TV show where each episode is like a small job at the beginning and then the rest of the episode is setting up a plan and executing it, and certain episodes you have like some fuck ups that happen where you kind of have to improvise, kind of in the same way that MacGyver does it, where it's like we're getting information on something by using certain tactics, like something like that. But yeah, overall, again, I think it's a decent enough thriller that again would have helped to have an R rating because no one dies in this. No one dies. Um, so it's a little bit anticlimactic for a film about a serial killer. You'd expect it to be more brutal. I think that would be a bit harder to watch, especially given that you start to care about him and his daughter's relationship. But yeah, still, I still enjoyed it. Um, that's my review of Trap. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. Like, subscribe, comment, and movie review next door. Out.